So, welcome to the webinar today on how to detox and thrive. I'm Anthony Hartcher. I'm a clinical nutritionist and lifestyle medicine specialist. In terms of a little bit about me, I didn't start that way. I started out as a chemical engineer and I followed my heart in the end and ended up going back to school and studying two more degrees, one in health science and another one in complementary medicine. So now I'm doing something I'm very passionate about, and hence why I love running these webinars and empowering you to make healthier decisions. So what will I be covering today? Essentially, we're going to be covering the benefits of doing a detox. So it's important to cover that. So that's the why. And then the what is a detox? And then essentially, what are the key principles that makes a successful detox? And then I'll go through some common pitfalls as to why detoxes fail. And then I'm going to go through a step-by-step guide of how you can do a successful detox. So that's what I'll be covering today. Feel free to use the chat function. I'll come back to that at the end for a Q&A session. And I'll leave everyone muted just to allow, I guess, so you can hear me essentially. So why detox? Well, you'll get a lot more energy from it. You'll certainly sleep better from it. And this is a result of reducing the inflammation in your body. And certainly if you have any pain, it will certainly lessen the pain you're feeling by reducing the inflammation. You'll feel happier as a result of less inflammation, less toxins around your body. You'll certainly be better balanced. You'll feel lighter at the end of it because the body's functioning better, and so it metabolizes energy more efficiently. And yes, you can break down fat cells and get rid of those ones that you don't want, and yeah, certainly come off feeling a whole lot better for it. And it certainly clears up the skin. So skin is one of our largest organs, and if our essential organs such as the liver and kidney are overworked and overburdened with toxins, they don't efficiently operate. And so what the body does is look for other avenues to rid the toxins out of the body, and the skin is one of those ways in which it can remove toxins. Lung is the other vital organ that's involved with toxin removal, and in particular removal of fat. So we breathe out fat. So make sure you breathe and breathe lots. So that's essentially why you do a detox. There are obviously other reasons. It can certainly help balance blood glucose. It can lower cholesterol. So all these things that the doctor will say that you need to improve when you get a blood test, a good detox can answer a lot of those questions, unless there's something more underlying than just lifestyle and diet. So what is a detox? So it's essentially reducing what's coming into the body and helping the body remove what's there out. And so we essentially reducing the amount of toxins floating around the body, reducing the inflammation, helping rebalance our hormones, helping our insulin work more effectively. So that's our regulation of blood glucose, and helping the liver and other vital organs function more efficiently. So, the liver is responsible for breaking down fats. And so, you can have high cholesterol or high LDL, and it might be because the liver is not functioning well. Same with kidney health. So, we're supporting the kidneys. They're going to operate a whole lot more efficiently, and that can help with lowering blood pressure. Essentially, if we've got less inflammation, we're better able to break down fat cells. So, so that will help with obviously the removal of any excess weight that you want to get rid of. So that's essentially what we're doing around the detox. Now, what makes up a good, successful detox program? I've listed 5 here. There are others, but these are what I consider really essential. So obviously, there's that one around compliance. And in order to have good compliance, you've got to have a good, strong why. Why are you doing it? Why is it important to you? And so it's very important to spend time thinking about why you want to do that and list, the benefits of doing it, and, and really articulate well in your mind as to what it's going to bring you and really connect with it strongly. So the second point I've got here is you need to be doing it long enough. And how long's a piece of string? It's essentially how bad you've been and how much toxins need to be rid of the body. So if you're relatively healthy and have a good lifestyle and eat relatively well, then you don't need to do it as long. If you've, I guess, really let go a bit during isolation, then certainly, it's good to have a long enough detox. So what I'm going to step you through is a 3-week detox. What I like about a 3-week detox, it's enough time to break old habits and create new ones. So it's therefore lasting, as opposed to, a week-long detox. You jump on it, you finish it, you feel great, but you generally go back to your old habits. So 3 weeks is that perfect timing to get rid of the old, bring in the new. Point number 3, ideally plant-based and 100% plant-based. So that's what I'll be going through today. And the reason for this is plant-based foods are highly nutritious, nutritionally dense, high in vitamins and minerals, what the body needs to help support those organs that I mentioned, the lungs, the kidneys, the liver, to really work efficiently and rid the body of toxins. They're also anti-inflammatory. So, we want to reduce the inflammation. Animal products are more pro-inflammatory, so that we don't really want them during this period. We really want to support the body strongly to maximize and optimize detox. Point number 4, it's great to have someone hold you accountable. So if you've got a mentor, let them know that you're doing this, or let someone that has a good relationship with you, and that they can let you know that, hey, how you going, check in with you, and hold you accountable. It's important because during this phase, it's only human to slip up, and there'll be temptations that certainly come into a 21-day program. And so it's all about, although you may slip up, is getting back on track and having that person to hold you account. Or point number 5 is that support buddy. So that person that you're doing it with. So ideally, you should find a buddy to do it with, because that really helps the motivation. The days that you feel unmotivated, they're probably motivated. And so you really feed off one another and you can support each other through this. And so I find point 4 and 5 as some of the key reasons why people don't continue with the detox, or they start and don't, get great results, is because they don't have that element of accountability and that support around them for it. Like if all your friends are off still partying, then it's hard. So if you can pull a few friends in to go with you, it's a whole lot easier. Common pitfalls, essentially, where do I start? What do I do? You can Google this. You'll find hundreds of items of how to do a detox. There's many ways in which you can do a detox. And, by all means, what I'm sharing with you today is not the only way. You can find something that works better for you. I'm just sharing with you one way that I find that works really effectively with my clients, and what I've done in the past to support my body in terms of detoxification. The other one I mentioned earlier is the lack of support, is another common pitfall. It's just like with weight loss in generally, you need to have that support, those cheerleaders around you to keep you going, because it is a struggle at times. And I'll certainly go through the struggle week and what to do around that struggle week. So that will be up and coming shortly. The other one is unsustainable detox programs. So it's like a whole lot of supplements and drinks and stuff like that you buy, and you don't like them. And so if it's unpalatable, you're not going to comply and continue with the program. What I like about this program is that it really is up to you in terms of, hey, these are the principles around a good detox. And it's then you being creative with what you use, and make it so that it satisfies your palate. And it also creates more longer term sustainable habits, because what I don't want people to do is start this program, get great results, and then go back to the old ways. So I certainly want people to do the program, get results, and continue with those results, life lasting, for longevity. And then I've got the last point here is if people don't get results, they don't see results early on, it's unlikely they'll continue. And fair enough. I mean, if you're not getting results, you got to question what you're doing. So how do we do a successful one? We've got to start with reducing those toxins coming into the body. And that starts with everything from alcohol, from drugs, whether it be recreational. I haven't included prescription drugs here because that needs to be discussed with your doctor. So certainly recreational drugs, certainly alcohol, coffee, yes, processed food and drinks. It's all the ones that you suspect, the sugar, the excessive sugar or any sugar, excluding fruit sugar, but fruit as a whole and not as a juice. So gluten-free, dairy-free, meat-free. Why have I suggested all these free things, such as gluten, dairy, meat, and vegetable oil-free, is that they're pro-inflammatory. And what we want to do is help the body reduce inflammation, eliminate toxins, for the energy to come back and the vitality to come back. So what happens? Essentially, what we'll start to do is the body operates more efficiently. As I said before, blood glucose regulation is better supported because you're not bringing in a whole lot of glucose into your diet. It's more complex carbohydrates you're having, and they break down slower. It's more whole forms of carbohydrates, and that is slowly absorbed. And so with this blood sugar regulation, our insulin is better regulated, and that really helps with the breakdown of fat cells, and also the fact that there's less inflammation and your liver will be functioning better. So this is all going to aid the breakdown of fat cells. Fat cells is where we store toxins. So if we're not looking after ourselves and our liver, lungs, our kidneys are overburdened and overwhelmed with toxins, what the body will do, as well as, I guess, trying to push it out through the skin, is it will push it into fat cells. And so fat cells will contain toxins. And so when we liberate them, we liberate more toxins into the bloodstream. And what will this create? Obviously feeling like crap. So I'm just preempting that there is a tough phase of a detox. So in the early stages of a detox, when the fat cells are breaking down, you will experience a bit of fatigue, tiredness, muscle weakness, headaches potentially, and darker feces. So there's some of the things, and everyone experiences this differently and at different stages, depending on when these fat cells start to break down, or depending on how quickly your body starts this more efficient regulation of what it does. So it's going to be really depending on how bad you've been in the past, and as to how long that's going to take. For, I guess, healthier people, that will happen quickly and you'll get over it quickly. For those that have a much larger toxin set, it will take longer. And but I'm going to go through some tips on how to manage these symptoms and to navigate your way through it successfully. So we're talking plant-based consumption. So as I mentioned before, plant-based is more anti-inflammatory, higher amount of antioxidants. We need antioxidants when we're metabolizing these toxins and trying to secrete them from the body. We need to have elevated antioxidants. Also, we're not wanting to introduce more pro-inflammatory foods, hence plant-based. What is plant-based? It's everything that comes from nature: plants, nuts, seeds, legumes, vegetables, fruit. And so what does it look like on your plate? Essentially, it is what I've outlined here. So you want to have majority of the alkalizing side. What is alkalizing? It's the way in which it breaks down in the body. So it's not the way it tastes. So don't think apple cider vinegar is acidic because it tastes acidic. It's how it metabolizes, how it breaks down within the body, and what metabolites are formed, and whether they're alkaline or whether they're acidic. By reducing acidic foods, we reduce the load on the kidneys. So the kidneys really do this alkalizing balancing, or help with it, as well as we're reducing the amount of bone loss. So when we have lots of acidic foods, such as lots of animal foods, lots of fats, saturated fats, lots of cheeses, lots of meats, that's putting this acidic load on the body. What the body does, because it wants to be more alkaline and it operates more efficiently alkaline, is the body will start to break down bone tissue, well, not bone tissue, but bone mass, in order to balance the pH. So what we're doing here is we're having a very alkalizing diet to reduce the load on the kidneys, also to optimize cellular function, because the body wants a pH that's more alkaline. So that's higher than water. So water's a pH of 7, right in the middle of the pH range. The higher end is 14, and that's, your soaps are at the higher end. The lower end are your acids, such as stomach acid and any sort of acid that's used for cleaning. That's the lower end. So our body wants to be above water, and our vegetables, our fruit drives us to be more alkaline. And then things such as meats and dairy will push us more acidic. In saying that, we do need the balance. And at the end of this, I talk about a transition off the detox, reintroducing meat and dairy. I'm not saying that we go off it forever. It's just for a period of time whilst our body detoxifies. And happy to answer any questions of that at the end of the prezzo in the Q&A section on, diet and alkalizing and acid and all that. So if you're a bit confused, more than happy to, hang around to answer any questions around that. So what else is important in terms of a successful detoxification is water. So we need to help the body flush out. So one way in which we eliminate toxins is through our kidneys, which is through our urine. So we need good flushing ability. So we want to be drinking lots of filtered water. Why filtered water? It's got less toxins. We drink tap water, we're taking in more toxins. Exercise is important, but not high intensity training. We want lower to moderate more forms of exercise. So I've listed here walking, yoga, swimming, jogging. It's not your high intensity classes. It's not your boot camp or your pump classes. Excuse me, it's none of that. It's essentially just the lighter versions of, Pilates is one of the lighter versions of exercise. It's more just taking it easy, because it's important our body is relaxing so it can work hard to eliminate toxins and rebalance. So we do need to be resting. We don't want to be, have got a stressful agenda ahead of us, because it's going to be difficult managing a detox plus managing a lifestyle that's stressful. So it's certainly good for coming out of ISO when, things might be, well, they're certainly looking more optimistic. You're wanting to improve your health and come out of it looking great, then this is a great phase to introduce a detox, particularly if you've got work under control. In terms of the plant-based nutrients, I've listed here all the ones that are in season. And this is what I love about nature, is that nature gives us what we need for particular times of the year. So, we go into the winter phase, we've just had summer. In summer, we've been out about and we've been with our friends, we've been socializing, we've enjoyed ourselves. What nature gives us is the right vegetables to detoxify. So all these ones listed here, bok choy, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, cauliflower, Chinese cabbage, it's all in season in the winter. And these are fantastic to support the liver detoxifying. So it's amazing how nature just works it out and gives us what we need for the time of the year we need it. In summer, it's lots of fresh fruits and berries and things, and they're very antioxidants. And, we're out doing lots of, things that create oxidative stress on our body. So we're piling ourselves with antioxidants to counter that. So it's just amazing how interconnected we are with nature. Rainbow salads is the last point here. So we're looking for obviously a base of those dark leafy green vegetables, and then lots of color within that. So, you know, your oranges, your yellows, your purples, your reds. You really want this nice rainbow color, and that will give you your antioxidants and the essential minerals and vitamins to allow for optimal detoxification through the liver, and obviously your kidneys. So now, how do we step through this 3 weeks? We need a prep week. Prep is the key to success. As you've heard in business, you've heard in going through school, preparing for the HSC, whatever it might have been, preparation is key for any successful outcome. And we need that prep week. So that prep week's defining your goals, what you want to get out of the program, what's going to keep you attached to staying with the program, so that you know, there's specific goals that you want to attach, and you can see yourself, visualize yourself being that person, feeling that way is what you want to do. And now it could start with that vision board of how you want to look, feel, how you want to experience the world. So that's really important, is to set those goals, have that vision, and then it's starting to methodically step through the rest of these points I've outlined. So stop buying the temptations, that list of, you know, stop doing at this, you know, couple of slides back. So stop buying the alcohol, what you have in the house, lock it away, get your children to hide it, get your loved one to hide it, get it out of the house, take it to a friend and just put it at their place. So just start, I guess, removing those temptations that are going to be there. You don't want them there. So, and obviously getting your family and your friends to buy in, your flatmates to buy in, so that they're not tempting you either. So you want them to be, you know, with you, and ideally get them to do it with you. And it really helps. Hence that second point, find the buddy. I've talked about the buddy and the importance of having that buddy. And then it's just stepping yourself through as to what might slip you up. Is there certain situations that you go to that you're thinking, well, that's going to be a real tempting thing. Can I put that on hold for 3 weeks? Can I put catching up with that particular bad influence for 3 weeks? Can I just let them know I'm doing a detox? I'll catch up with them afterwards. It's just thinking through situations, environments that could put you in, you know, well, it's going to basically jeopardize your progress. And then it's thinking through better options, substitutes, and, you know, it's that real project management approach to think, what could go wrong? How can I avoid it? You know, how can I resurrect that situation? And so, you know, in terms of healthier substitute, you know, if you really like that sort of pick me up of a coffee in the morning, a green tea is a fantastic substitute. Green tea is packed with antioxidants. It supports the liver in terms of detoxification. It's got L-theanine in it, which really helps with sleep. So it's so many positives. So yeah, if you're looking for a substitute, try green tea. It's a really good substitute. It has a bit of caffeine, but not as much as coffee. Looking for people to become your cheerleaders, you know, letting them know, telling them your commitment, getting them to, you know, be there for you. And, you know, whether it be your husband, wife, you know, let them know, inform them, say, I want your support over this time. These are the ways you can help me. And then prepare your new you shopping list. So it's, you know, thinking about, I need to go and get lots of fresh fruit and vegetables. An easy way of doing this is actually buying those pre-boxed fruit and veggie boxes. So there's a number of them out there. What I love about it, it's very seasonal, it's local, it's lots of surprises. There'll be things that you've never seen before or cooked with before, and it challenges you. So it just adds to that element of fun and challenge, and you get creative. So week 1 is going to be the hardest week. It's where things start to happen. Your body starts to operate more efficiently, and you're going to start noticing some effects. And I went through those symptoms before. So how can I help you get through that phase? It's certainly, I guess, first of all, acknowledging this. Yes, you will get cravings for coffee, cravings possibly for alcohol, cravings for all sorts of things during this phase. So they're going to come, and they're going to come periodically and out of the blue. You may even dream of them. So it's understanding, yes, they'll come into your life. They'll appear in your mind, and you'll think, yes, I need that right now. I want it. So I've listed some techniques here as to what you can do to avoid that, or better manage that situation. Shifting tasks really works well. So if you have that thought and you're doing some work, I suggest you get up and either call someone, just distract yourself for 20 odd minutes, and that temptation will subside, go away. So just finding that element of distraction, shifting the task of what you're doing, shifting your mind essentially. And that could mean applying some mindfulness techniques such as breathing exercises, doing a meditation, doing some singing, playing some music you like. It's just really shifting the mind. So switching it. And if you do that, some people only need to do it for 5 minutes, others a bit longer, but it's really just shifting gears, getting your mind off it, having a sip of water, having a tea. I find, calling that person that's holding you accountable, check in with them and have a chat to them and tell them about how you're struggling. It's important that you acknowledge it, but also that you stay compliant as much as you can. Because the thing about one slip up is that if you don't pick yourself up for it or hold yourself accountable for it, it will then result in that, I guess, that self-sabotage, that vicious circle of, oh, I had that, oh, I might as well have this. Oh, yes, friends asked me out for that. Oh, I might as well have that. And then you just cascade down, down, and down, and down. Eventually, you just give up. And so what I'm trying to stop here is that cascade spiral of negativity, essentially. And, you're saying, I can't do this. I've never been able to do it before. You can let go of that past. This is a new transformation. And it's time to, implement some of these key areas that will help you get through these challenging moments. I've got also here getting outside, getting some fresh air. So really just getting out, getting some sunshine, just really breathing in deeply, taking in some deep breaths, breathing out, and then visualizing yourself achieving this at the end of the 3 weeks, and how you feel and look and how much better life will be for you. Also check in with your buddy. So, yep, this was challenging for me, and, have a chat to them. What's working for you? So you'll find if you can have a chat with someone, have a laugh or whatever, that will really shift gears and get your mind off that temptation. I've also got here, what's useful for managing the symptoms is making sure you're resting adequately. So getting good night's sleep, having rest throughout the day. You're not pushing yourself, because the more you push yourself, the more you lift stress hormones, and the more stress hormones will lift appetite and drive other, I guess, imbalances that you don't want. Through this time, it will affect blood sugar regulation. Then you'll get this message to your brain thinking you need sugar and all these sort of things that are going to corrupt you. So suggest you really help regulate that stress by, doing mindfulness, resting, light exercise, and drinking plenty of fluids. So week 2 and 3 are a lot easier. Or some people can experience the challenge from week 1 into week 2. As I said, everyone's different and coming from, I guess, a different state of toxicity. So week 2, you may still experience some headaches potentially, or you may not experience headaches at all. You just may be a bit tired and run down. However, you will start feeling the benefits, seeing the benefits come week 2. There's no doubt about that, particularly if you've been really compliant to the program. So it's, again, reinforcing you need to keep resting, keep allowing your body to, focus on getting rid of these toxins to really rebalancing, and it needs rest, because what you're essentially doing this 3-week period is restoration. It's maintenance. It's what we do for our cars periodically. So this is what you're doing for your body. You allow your body to restore itself, rebuild, rebalance. And so that needs you to be less of doing what you normally do, essentially. So your body can do what it needs to do to give you the outcomes that you want. And yep, this is where you see the results, and you'll start seeing that light, and you'll start feeling so much better for it, and that will motivate you. So it really is getting through that first week. You may struggle halfway through the second week, but the results are there. So you just got to hang in there. And that third week is just bliss. And it's essentially the week that you're feeling fantastic. Everything's going well for you. You're reaping the benefits of all the hard work you've put in. And you don't want to go back to your old ways because you're in new habits. So it's exciting. So how do we not detox, how do we transition from the detox to the new you? And we want to keep the new you and keep that momentum going. So it's not going 100% plant-based. You may find that the benefits are massive and you love it and you enjoy it and you go majority plant-based. It's certainly where I found myself from doing it 20 years ago. So I've certainly adopted a more plant-based diet, and I feel so much better for it. We do need animal products, so I'm not saying eliminate them. We just need less of them, and we need to adopt, diets, traditional diets that have been very successful in terms of maintaining successful health outcomes. So there's populations around the world that live to 100 and beyond, and live really well 100 and beyond. So they're still very energetic. They're still very with it. They function fantastically, and it's because they've done things well throughout their life. And this is, one of these diets. So the Mediterranean diet is one of these blue zones that I was talking about that live beyond 100. And that has so much research. So there's been lots of research done in the Mediterranean diet for, successfully managing diabetes, for helping with lowering cholesterol, helping with weight loss. It's endless, mental health benefits. And so this is what the Mediterranean pyramid looks like. And as you can see, it's majority plant-based down the bottom and animal products are up the top. So it gets down to this 2/3, 1/3. So, again, we're still keeping with that 2/3, that momentum. So, 2/3 of your plate going to be plant-based, and we want the majority of that 2/3 to be vegetables. We don't want it to be all legumes and nuts and seeds and grains. We certainly want that to be more of the vegetable side of things, and then you complement it with a bit of seeds, nuts and grains. And then a third of your plate could be, which is, basically your palm, a meat, steak. So it only needs to be this big. It really depends on the intensity of your exercise and how much you're building muscle mass. But generally, for the general person, we only need a palm size of meat, and that being fish or chicken or pork or steak, beef. And that's generally going to keep you at this good maintenance level. So majority plant-based, you're keeping 2/3 of your plate for vegetables and plant-based produce. And then you've got a little third for, a bit of animal products, but it doesn't have to be. You can go completely vegetarian. It's just making sure you get a good mix of grains, nuts, and seeds to make sure you get all your vitamins and minerals. So going 100% plant-based is a bit more challenging long-term and can result in problems long-term if you aren't well balanced with the way you do it. So, in summary, you're going to get the best results by staying on track, which is the obvious. It's important to acknowledge at the start that yes, you're human. You can have slip-ups. There's nothing wrong with that. We all make mistakes, but it's all about getting back on track. And that's the most important thing, is you get back on track, get back on the bandwagon and keep going. In order to avoid those mistakes or to minimize them, do the preparation. I mentioned that preparation week is vital. So it's, getting rid of all the stuff that's going to tempt you and bringing in all the good stuff. So there's less temptations, and that's all you've got is the good stuff to play with and the good stuff to enjoy. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be new, experimental. You'll get creative, and you will notice the changes over this period of time, and it will result in lifelong lasting changes. And remember, the time is going to be different for everyone. So some people that don't have a lot of toxins, very generally healthy and eat well, a week is adequate. Those that are coming off a big hibernation and a big isolation indulgence, then it's going to be a bit longer. I do suggest 3 weeks for the reason of breaking old habits, creating new ones, and that resulting in life-lasting change. Eat real food. So I don't suggest you go out and sign up to a detox program that's full of supplements. Yes, the supplement company does well, but that's not sustainable long term. And it's better that you connect with what you can do long term and get good at it. And this 21 days is a good way to train yourself to become good at utilizing fresh fruit, vegetable produce, and making it taste nice. It's very possible and very easy to do. Buddy up, finding that buddy, that support person that's going to, be there for you for when you have a slip up, or help you get motivated when you're feeling a bit under the weather, or you've got a temptation. They're your poison. So find that buddy person. And most importantly, take one step at a time. So take each day as it comes. Every day is going to be a new day. Every day is going to bring a new challenge. Every day can bring better results. The more days you go, the better results. So stick with it, hang in there, and you'll get the results, and you'll really enjoy the outcomes. You'll feel amazing for it. So if you want some tailored advice, I've obviously given you some very generic advice. I'm happy to do a free 15-minute consult to really help tailor or, narrow this, narrow your focus, make it work in with your lifestyle, give you ideas in how you can manage various scenarios. So happy to do that for you for joining this webinar. So that's 15 minutes of me having a chat with you, whatever you want me to talk about, whether it be detox or something else. More than happy to do that for you. That was your free $55 gift from me. And if you want a more, guided program, you're going to need more additional support, then I certainly run a detox program, and I'm happy to discount that 10% for you having invested your time today. So you can find out more details about this program by emailing me. You've all got my emails because I sent you reminders of this webinar. So feel free to email me. I can send you more details. I can talk to you about it. But this is a very successful program, and it's probably less thought that has to go into it and less preparation, and it's more you just applying the steps, and I help you along that way of getting the results you want. And a way in which you can stay connected with me are through these mediums, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, or you can join my newsletter via my website. And thank you so much for joining today. I really appreciate it.